Hello friends, welcome to BISP Solutions. Myself Ashwin and I work as a technical consultant at BISP Solutions. And this is our fourth webinar in this series. So in our previous webinars we have already discussed what is data migration, how we do it. Just a second. Okay, so we have already discussed a lot on what is migration and how do we do this and what type of developers are required in the migration, in how many stages we do the migration. Everything we have already discussed a lot in the last previous three webinars. Now I am going to show you exactly today in our today and tomorrow's webinar. We will focus on documentation part. We will focus on documentation part. So documentation part is most important. Though you have the technical experts, though you have the technical developers also, but until you create a best BRD, you can't effectively migrate the data. So the very first process of a data migration or any project is to create a proper BRD. BRD means business requirement document. Now business requirement document, as the name shows, business requirement document. So business requirement document means, suppose a company wants to migrate to Fusion. And they approached us that we want to migrate. So first of all, the very first document that is the business requirement document. And here the business requirement document contains all the requirements that the client need. So we will discuss one by one. There are some points which are required. So today we will discuss the technique of writing a BRD. Correct? So let's see technique of writing the BRD. So a business requirement document offers an overview of what the business does and why it needs the project deliverable to be undertaken. It outlines the business solution of project requirement. See, a company is using QuickBooks for the last 5 to 10 years. Now they are requiring to move to Fusion. So in our business requirement document, first of all, we will put an overview that exactly what they are doing or what the business does, what is the standard procedure. We will put our recommendations also. Now the business requirement document highlights what the end result of the project. After completion of the migration, how your business will behave. For example, in a company, a sales, let's take order to cash process. In a company, the order to cash process is like just creating the sales order, then item fulfillment without any approval, item fulfillment, and then the item received, and then item dispatch, and then creation of invoice and amount deposited in the account. So that is a simple normal process and the company is using the same thing. But after migration of that business into Fusion, how it will look like. So we will be using the flowcharts also wherever required. So the flowchart plays another important role. I will show you an example of BRD after we discuss all these points. So when a change request is introduced to the project, the business requirement document must be revised to reflect these changes. For example, the company says that no, we want 2-level approvals in a sales order to cash cycle. So in that order to cash cycle, 2-level approvals. So after introducing this 2-level approval technique, how your business will behave. So we have to show them. We have to display that into the document with the help of a flowchart, that how it will look like. The main purpose of BRD is to show what the system will look like from a business perspective. It includes both the business solution and the technical solution. Business solution is okay. So they want approvals. So this is called the business solution. Okay. And technical solution means exactly how it will be done in the back end by the developer. So we have to show them that process also, that how we are going to calculate this. Many times the client says that we want this much % discount for this particular customer. So we have to show them that which ID and which field we will be taking. We will be pulling which ID and which field, and what type of percentage calculation we will be applying. So that is called technical documentation, and it also answers how the project will deliver and contains a prioritized list of features and business requirements that the delivered software product service must provide. So after completion, see, in a document, first we will write that what they are using, how their business is going on. Then second point, that we are showing that how a standard process should look like. And after the implementation of that complete process in Fusion, we will show them that how your business in future will work. So everything is done on the paper only, not there is nothing technical right now. Everything is written in paper. So we have to show all these things on a paper. In this way we create a business requirement document. Now, just a second. Now, anatomy of great BRD. Now, what is inside the BRD? How the BRD is created? Now, see here. Most business follow a template for all their business requirement documentation. This helps keep documentation standard. Now, most of the time a BRD is having a fixed template, or you can prepare your template as per your requirement, right? For example, the sections and components are very simple in every BRD. One is project overview. Project overview, as we discussed just now, that what is the project and what we are going to do and how the business works. Secondly, project scope. Project scope means, see, whenever we implement something in a project, then we have to show the scope and outscope, in scope and outscope. Now, project scope is what we are going to provide. For example, yeah, let's take an example of order to C, order to cash, right? Order to cash process. Suppose they say that we want approval process. So what we are going to write here, project scope, that we are providing the approval process, but only for 2 level. Secondly, in the scope, we are going to migrate only last 2 year historical data. Last 2 year historical data. That's it. See here, for some BRD, the first component is split into executive summary and project objectives. Right? A project overview should include the background and vision of the project along with goals and objective. That is what the project overview. Second, project scope. It is the boundaries of your project or the deadlines. For example, we will write in a project scope like we will migrate only last 2 years data, not the whole 10 years data, historical data. So that is called the scope, that what we are providing and what we are not providing. You have to write down very specifically that what you are not going to provide. That is called the outscope, and in scope means what you are going to provide. Okay. Now, another point is stakeholder identification. Here is stakeholder identification. Now, stakeholder identification means all those who are included in that project, or those who are keeping an eye on that project, or those who are monitoring that project. For example, in a project, the senior vice president, the subject matter experts, the sales supervisor, sales manager, all these are included during the project implementation. For example, I have created a BRD. Now I will show that BRD to the vice president, senior vice president. Then I will show that BRD to the sales manager also. there, because that BRD, all those people, those who are having interest in that document, and once the managing director of the project, everyone will see, and whatever they want, they can make changes in that. So we have to take care of the stakeholder identification, that those who are interested, we have to identify those people, and when we created our BRD, we have to take the sign off from them that this is a BRD, what you are using, what we are providing you after the implementation, how your business is going to work. Everything is defined in this. Now please approve it. So once they approve it, then only we will be able to start the project implementation, right? Then the business requirement, stakeholder identification is done. Now business requirement, the business requirement section is where you will list the requirements we previously covered, like the problem to be solved, outcome to be achieved, stakeholder expectation. This is also a section where you can include functional, non-functional requirement if you would like. Now see here, this is an important point written here. Stakeholder expectation, problem to be solved. Some things are there which are not solved in their previous application. So what things are to be solved? For example, in order to cache, we want to put 2-layer approvals. Outcome to be achieved. What type of outcome? For example, in order to cache, they want, as soon as a sales order is created, so immediately one email should be sent to the customer. One email should be sent to the sales manager, and immediately the printout should be saved into the records. So this is called outcomes to be achieved. This is also section where you can include functional, non-functional. So how the functionality works, that depends on requirement. Then scope of solution. Scope of solution section is where you will list current and proposed future state. As I just now I explained you that how we are going to put the scope. Scope means exactly what we are going to provide you, how we are going to provide you, and after that how it will work. Then comes project constraints. Now project constraints. Now project constraints means the place where you explain further the project scope and risk. This may include budget, training need, and more. Now project constraint means, for example, they have added one additional section. For example, the sales order, after creation of sales order, immediately the list should be emailed to manager daily midnight. So you have to provide some trainings also to them, that what type of lists you have to create, because in every ERP there is a facility of report creation. Apart from the traditional reports, there is a facility that you can create your own reports. So in Fusion and in every ERP there is a facility. So if the client says that we want 10 different types of reports on sales orders, like how many sales orders were generated within the last 2 months, how many sales orders are open, how many sales orders are closed within the last 2 months, and how many sales orders are generated for a particular customer. So there are different types of reports. Now we can't provide them each and every, because their needs can change also in after 2 months or after 1 year. So we have to provide the training also to their clients, that how, and it is totally a functional task. So their clients are expected to learn it. So we have to provide the constraints that you have to get the training also. Quality control measures are the method for assigning the quality of work product. This could include testing. Testing, as you know, that testing is a most important task. See, once we have done all the designing and all the implementation tasks, but before moving that into the production part, we have to go through testing. Now go through testing means what? Let's take an example that my client says that we want to 2-layer approval in a sales order or a purchase order, whatever. So what we will do, we will deploy the code and everything in the sandbox, and after that we will do a testing. And then after testing from our side, we will allow the user to please test this, and when he will test it and then once he approve it, that means our whatever we want to provide, that is perfectly all right. And after the sales officer or the sales manager approves it, then the SME subject matter expert will also test it, and the person who is going to work on that application, that is the sales rep will also test on it. So all these stakeholders will do their testing, and we have to take the sign off from them. We have to take the sign off, and then we will move further, right? Now let's move further. Here, cost benefit analysis. Now cost benefit analysis means what? See, in this cost benefit analysis we have to provide the complete costing, but and the time duration also. And many times we need to include the other developers also. For example, the company says that, the client says that that we want the integration with our website and the Net Fusion. Let's take this example, that company is using two things, QuickBook and the other traditional software or website to generate their sales orders. And company says that okay, we are retiring the QuickBook, but we want to keep on using that application or the software or the website because our employees are used to with that website. So we are going to keep on using that, and they need the data to be moved as soon as the sales order is generated. That means here the integration part is required. Now integration part is required, that means the integration expert is required here. So many times, suppose the website is in Python, so we need the Python developer from outside. So it will include the cost. So that is called cost benefit. So we have to do the costing analysis also. So this is what required. Now let's talk about the tips of writing the BRD. Okay, so let's have a quick recap. In a BRD, there are 5 to 6 questions. First is the project overview. The overview we are going to show. Then the project scope. Then the stakeholder identification, those who are interested in that. Then business requirement, scope of the solution, project constraints, what are the constraints, because many times it happens that there are few things which they demanded, the client demanded, but it is practically not possible. So we have to show them that what are the constraints in that. So we have to show them the another way, the either way with which you can fulfill your requirement. We can't say that this is not possible, but yeah, we have to provide them the alternative solution also. So this is how, these are the points, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are the 8 points which are included mandatorily in the BRD, right? Now, top 5 tips to writing the perfect BRD. Now see here, how to write a BRD. Now we know that each and everything we have, we understood how to write the BRD. But how to write the effective requirement elicitation. Now that we have grasped what business required document should accomplish, now you can follow the guidelines to make sure that you have written an exceptional one. Now practice effective requirements elicitation. Elicitation means just extracting their requirement. Now even if you write an impressive BRD, it won't be effective. You have not identified and documented all the requirements necessarily. To ensure your BRD is complete and cohesive, you will need to apply proper elicitation method. Now what is elicitation method? For example, a person is sitting in front of you He's a client, right? He's the employee of your client. Now whatever you ask, he will reply in a simple way. But exactly what you want to extract, you have to keep on asking the questions and questions. Then only you can get the exactly what he wants. Because in first 2 or 3 questions, if you are expecting that he will explain me each and everything, that's not possible. For example, how do you work on sales order? He will just say that yeah, I'm generating the sales order, but do you need something else in that? So you have to keep on asking the questions. That is called the brainstorming. Secondly, interface analysis. Now interface analysis means, see, whenever the employee is working in a company for the last 10 to 15 years, he has become used to with a particular interface. For example, that person is used to with the interface of sales order form, the top level name, then the surname, and then the item name, and all these things. So you have to ask about the interface also, that what type of interfaces they need. Then the observation part, then the surveys. All these things are required to extract the proper requirement. Then the interviews means exactly you have to ask what they need. You have to just go deeper inside and then ask the questions. So in this way there are different approaches to extract what exactly going on into the client's mind. It's a quite lengthy work, so that is why BRD is not prepared within 1 or 2 days. It takes time. Okay. Then use clear language without jargon. Now never use very heavy language. Very heavy language, I mean to say that for example, if you keep on writing SO for sales order, that's not a correct way. You have to write down the complete word sales order. So don't use jargons and the technical words in front of the client employee, right? Because this BRD will be read by the sales rep, the sales supervisor, the sales manager, the sales executive, each and every. So that each and everyone should be able to understand. You should write the language in such a way. Because this is BRD is for the client. Of course, we are working on it. We have to provide the solution, but the sign off, the approval will be given by the client. So client should be able to understand exactly what is written in that BRD. We have to use the snapshots also in that, right? Now, research past projects. Research past project means a great way to jump start your documentation process is to research similar projects your organization has completed in the past. Review the documentation for those projects and use those insights to help you identify. See, a company, suppose a company like we are working on providing the solution. So we are having our BRDs from the last few projects. So if I working on BRD, then I will just take some few BRDs of our previous projects and then I will check it out. Yeah, okay, these points should be inserted in this new BRD. But those who are working first time, so they have to go through this only. Because it's their first time to prepare their BRD. So you have to follow these points. And once you have completed 2 or 3 projects, in that case you can just have an idea that okay, in last BRD we have written this, so this new thing can be, so it would be time saving task. So research past projects, that means researching the BRDs of past project. Now, validation of documents. Okay, validation of documents. Now validation of documents means once you have finished writing the requirement document, have a subject matter expert and project stakeholders review it. I already explained you that once you have written the BRD, you have to show that document to the stakeholders. That see, whatever I have written, If it is understandable to you, if it is easy to understand, then please go through it and tell me exactly what is needed. This is the time for everyone to validate the information and offer feedback or corrections. Corrections means the same. For example, if you have written everything in your BRD that what type of interface we are going to use, but sales rep, he says that, oh, this thing should come in bold letters. All these things are called the corrections. And this step is crucial to create successful BRD. Without it, you risk missing key requirements, leaving critical errors that could set your project off track. If you miss any one requirement in that, so it will create problem for the next for your project, because suppose the deadline is after 6 months, it will go up to after 1 year also. Why? Because once you have done your scripting part, once you have prepared your interfaces, and the client says that no, this thing is missing, so you and your developer both have to work double. So that's why take time in preparing a BRD first. Don't be in a hurry, just take your time to prepare an effective BRD, and then you have to go further. Now includes visual. Includes visual is the best part. See, if you write a document with only text, now nobody is having that much time and patience, because only few higher authorities, they are having patience that okay, if you provide them a heavily text document, they will go on reading and reading because they are habitual of that. But suppose if you provide a text document of 10 to 20 pages to a sales rep or the person who is daily communicating with the vendors and all these, they are not having that much time to go through that. So you have to put the visuals also. Now visual can be a flowchart, it can be a data flow diagram, it can be a snapshot, any of three. So these visuals clarifies the information and making the document more user friendly, because all the stakeholders, suppose there are 5 stakeholders of a BRD in a client. Now the top 2 stakeholders called as senior vice president and the sales manager, they are habitual, they can read documents. But the person who is a sales rep or sales representative or sales supervisor, suppose they are not habitual, so they will just ignore the document. So instead of doing this, it is better to put the visuals. One of the most common diagrams of a BRD is business process diagram, and it is just like a flow chart. You have a business process flow you have to show. This diagram visualizes a workflow process and how it relates to your business requirement, depending on how complex your documentation is. You can use the process diagram to present high level processes or drill down. Same thing. So let's have a quick recap on all those 5 points. Now I'm going to show you that how to prepare a BRD. I have already BRD for you. I will show you actual documents, and then here is PDF final files. Okay, here is BRD document. But first, before that, let's have a quick recap. In a BRD, first of all, you have to identify what they are doing, what is their current process, what is their scope, that means what we are going to provide them, what is the stakeholder identification, means those how many people are you going to use the document, correct? Then business requirement, scope of the solution, then project constraint means what type of constraint that you are going to face. That means it is a change in the procedure that you daily work. For example, sales rep is creating a sales order as usual, but suppose after implementing that fusion in their premises, so whatever the changes or whatever the things that he need to ensure, you have to provide that thing also into the project constraint. Quality control measure means it's just a testing. In testing, everything is included. Cost benefit analysis. Cost benefit analysis means, suppose if you add some new thing, that for example if you want to introduce the barcode reader machine in your business, that you want that the barcode should be read by that machine, and then that sticker should be pasted on that parcel, everything. So you have to put that thing also in the cost benefit analysis. After that, let's have a look on these 5 tips for writing the perfect BRD. First is perfect effective requirement elicitation. That means you have to keep on asking. You have to have the 2 or 3 rounds of interviews or the meetings. After those meetings rounds, then only you can be able to extract the each and every information. So BRD is not prepared in 1 or 2 days. It takes time. Right. Secondly, use clear language without jargon. Don't use technical words, because everyone is going to see that document. Okay. Research past projects. Suppose if your company is working in this field within last 10 to 15 years, then you might be having different BRDs which are written during different project implementations. So you can go through that. Then validation of the document. Validation means once you have created that document, then you have to show them to the client that please have a look on it. If anything is missing or anything is required, then please let us know. And after that, includes visual. Includes visual means in a company, some people are on higher level, higher authorities, they are habitual of reading text documents, but some people are not habitual of reading text documents. If you provide them 20 pages of text only, it would be very difficult for them to digest. So you have to provide some visuals also. Visuals, right? So when you will provide them visuals, that this is the sales order front page, sales order form, it will look like this after the implementation. All these things are included in BRD. So this was all about the BRD. Now let's have a look in our BRD, right? So in the first of all, we will see here business requirement document. In the first page you have to provide this thing. Now what is revision history? Now revision history means, now in the revision history it says that how many times this document is revised. This is also most important, because suppose your deadline, the projected deadline is like 6 months, right? But the project ended in 9 months. So the client will ask you the questions that why it take so much time. So in that case, we can show that requirements are changed each and every time. So that is why it was revised. So we can show them the revision history also. And we can also show them that these are the reviewers, those who have reviewed them, and who are the approvals. So those who have given the approval. So in this way, this revision history, reviewers and approvals, it is most important. It plays a most important role when you exceed the deadline and complete the project in 9 months or 10 months instead of completing it in 6 months. So in that case, these 3 tables are very important. It will be a lifesaver like that, right? It will be a lifesaver for you. So you have to show, you can show them that you are from your side there are so many changes introduced, so the requirements are not freezed on given time. That is why we took this much time. Then table of content. Table of content, again the same thing. Table of content plays that indexing. It is an indexing, and if I click on this accounting period, we directly jump into that. So this is called table of content. Those who are good in MS Word, they can easily understand that what is table of content. So this, you have to provide the table of content. Then now executive summary. In executive summary, we will show them that what our company is working and what we are doing, like this, right? Then the project overview. Now in this project overview, you have to provide each and everything, the detail you have to provide about the client, Then why client wants to switch? So you have to provide the reason also, that why the client wants to switch. Then project scope. Now the project scope means what you are going to provide them, what you are going to implement, what you are going to do, how you will implement, and what things are implemented. See here, like GL implementation, GL balance migration. Now scope contains both implementation also and what type of migration, what type of data also. See here, I have already written last 2 years, right? Accounts payable data migration. So we have already written here last 2 years data. So we will migrate only last 2 years data only, not beyond that. After that, outscope. Now outscope means, see here, HCM, CRM will not be implemented. Hardware and software expenses will be bear by client. So what we are not going to do, that we will put it into the outscope, because this thing is also very important. Because many times some new hardwares are also required if they demand it. Now license and other expenses will be bear by client. License also, suppose in the beginning the client says that okay, we are having only 2 sales rep, we are using them. But later on the client says that no, we are having 4 sales rep. In that case the license cost will be bear by client. So we have to also provide it into the outscope, that we are not going to do anything in costing. Now current and proposed process. Now what is current and now current process is this, suppose. So we have to show them into the in the way of visuals. That is what we were talking, visuals. After that, COA structure, whatever. See here, I have used here the data flow diagram also. What is there and what we are going to provide. Accounting period, right? Now currency information, because suppose a company is working in US and then they are coming into the India and they have one subsidiary in India. So according to that, what changes we are going to do. So this is our BID that we have prepared here. Now after that, what type of reports? So we have to provide each and everything, because reporting is the favorite thing of higher authorities. They want the reporting in a proper way, they want reporting in a meaningful way. So we have to provide them what type of reports we are going to generate, right? So all these things are already mentioned here. Now whatever the current process and what we are providing them, these are all the flow charts. You should be able to design these flow charts as per the needs. It is nothing difficult, just visualize that what things going from where. Similarly, data migration, in our last 3 webinars I have been showing you this diagram. So same thing is here, because this flow chart will be useful to understand for the higher authorities also, and for the sales rep and other employees also. Like this here, client will download the data in Excel sheet, then storing the data in a staging area, then verifying the data in consistency. Is the data consistent? Okay, yes. If no, then again go to that first level, then massaging, put the massaging data in uploading staging area. After that, upload the files in sandbox environment, validate the uploaded data if the testing is successful. So everything is defined here. Then document parameters. Now see here, document required means, many times suppose the client told me says that please implement Fusion. Now definitely I will ask some documents from them, I will demand some documents from them. For example, see here, provide existing AP and AR statement cycles, provide list of customers profile type. So there are so many sets of documents that we will be requiring. Like here, existing all master list of accounting code with description. So whatever required, we have to demand from them. So these things are there, and what they will do, they will provide you each and everything, and then we will work on them. Now resources. Now resources means how many resources that we are going to deploy on your project, because if you talk about the billing and the costing, everything, we have to provide them each and every information that how many consultants that we are deploying on them. Correct? Now assumptions. Let's take the assumptions also. Now whatever information given by you will be intact. Assumptions, we are assuming that whatever you are giving me, that will be perfect. I will not question on that. And if in future if you say that no, this is wrong, so we will show that this is what you have given. And related documents will be provided as per project demand. That means whatever the demand, suppose if requirement is related to sales order, then definitely I will ask some documents from them. Then limitation of the target flow system. We have to also write the limitations of target system. For example, here in Fusion, once the calendar is created in PL and ledgers, and ledgers are created, then calendar can't be changed instead to have a new PL. Right? So this is all the limitations. After that, let's have a review hardware and software requirement. So what is hardware? You have to provide this information also, that for example few companies, they use laptop and high quality computers on higher authorities only, and if you talk about sales rep, they are provided with desktop computer with very less configurations. So you have to provide each and everything, that what type of requirements are there, hardware and software requirements, so that they will be ready once the project is implemented. Here is hardware requirements, and then the milestone tasks means project planning, then the requirement and analysis, design stage. That means we are also giving them our process, that how we work, how we are going to implement the Fusion, and rest is our contact information. So guys, this was all about the BRD. This session was fully dedicated to BRD only, because BRD writing is not an easy task, and it's very crucial. So once you are able to write the BRD in a perfect way, then project implementation will be completed on given time. And this BRD is required in every project. Without BRD, your projects will not start. Okay, so in our next session we will see the documentation process of functional design documentation and technical. So in our tomorrow's session, I will show you the remaining 2 documents, that how to write them. So guys, please go through this session, and then if you have any difficulty, then you can write down in the comment box. This was all about the BRD. Okay, so thank you friends, thanks for attending the session. Thank you.